I told my 27F fiance, 27M, to stop talking about his sick mother. He has stopped talking to me, and I don't know how to fix this. Was I wrong? This is something that's been building up for a while now. My fiancé, Ryan, and I got engaged back in December, and in total we've been together for 5 years. The anniversary was in March. So far he's had no red flags, and I'm positive about that. He's kind, listens to my endless ramblings about obscure topics I know he knows nothing about but still listens because he knows I care about it. He cooks, because he's fantastic at it and it's one of his love languages, and he knows when to be silly and serious. Overall, he's truly a man I love, and I don't feel any doubts or worries about us. Or I did. His mother is a long story. When my fiancé was little, 6 or 7, his mother lost a baby to SIDS. It was so traumatizing for her that she left him for 4 months. He was looked after by his aunties. When she came back, she was the quintessential helicopter parent. She made them share a bed till he was 11. It only stopped because he wanted it to. She didn't allow him a lock for his door. When he bought one himself, he got a friend to install it. She actually cried. Whenever he showed the slightest passing interest in something, she'd jump the shark and buy things associated with that interest. When he started listening to Disney music as a preteen, she went and bought him all the sing-along DVDs and merchandise and a little play mic set and a few instruments and posters, etc. When he started to play tennis, she bought expensive shoes that were meant to help decrease the stress on one's heels. He stopped playing when his friends grew bored of it. So he did too. That was a common pattern for years. And he's told me how whenever he told his mom he'd lost interest or never was that interested in the first place, he'd feel so much guilt and shame and anxiety that he was letting her down. When he finally moved out, only because he started college. If he hadn't, I have no doubts she'd have kept him forever. He had very little life skills. He could cook, and that was about it. He couldn't schedule appointments, didn't know how to drive, he didn't even know how to properly wash his own clothes. His mother had kept doing them for him all through his college years. Even now she still babies him so much. When we visit, she only speaks to him, and it's in like a slight baby voice, like it's slightly higher pitched. She'll offer to still do his clothes, to cook for him, to give money, etc. I feel bad for Ryan because she doesn't treat him like a grown man. He's tried to get her to change, but he said she's stuck in her ways. And she's stonewalled every attempt I've made at a connection or even an amicable relationship. She only speaks to me when it's solely about Ryan. Then her eyes light up and she pulls out pictures and mementos and talks about him for hours. But I've noticed she speaks very little of his life after we met. About the job he started, the apartment we moved into together, all that stuff. Like it never happened. I've tried to get Ryan to just see how unhealthy their relationship is, but he just tells me that she has no one. She's only ever had 2 serious relationships in Ryan's whole life, that he's her only child, and that she just worries about him. He's got minimal boundaries established. If he ever offered her to move in, I would honestly debate ending our relationship. In January, she had a nasty fall that broke her hip. Then she got pneumonia, and that almost wiped her out. Since then, she acts like she's made of glass, not even leaving bed when, according to the doctor, she should be doing some form of physical therapy. She doesn't even make her own food anymore, and has Ryan do everything for her. He cooks, he cleans, he stays to talk for hours. When he comes home from work, he's here for at most an hour before he's off to her place. Sometimes he even sleeps there. I feel like he's just forgotten about me completely. He doesn't even text much anymore. I'll be left unread for hours. Then I'll get a brief response. He's not cheating, his location is always on, and it's only ever at the shops because he's there buying his mother things. In the brief time he's home, either during that hour or when he sleeps here, all he does is talk about his mother. Either her medication, how weak she is, how lonely, how sad she is. He's made her the only topic of discussion. It's frustrating when I want to speak about literally anything else, because it always goes back to her. Me, work was a pain today. The quota was 200 bottles. I barely got it done. Ryan, I don't know if Mom will ever be able to work again. She might have to go on disability. I feel unimportant and discarded. But I know he's not doing this to hurt me, but he doesn't seem to listen when I try to tell him his mom's relationship with him isn't healthy. Well, recently I had my breaking point. I had a slight spill at work and hurt my hand and wrist area. It's just painful, but it'll be fine in a week. Because of my current one-handedness, I asked Ryan if he could prep my work lunches for me. He's done so in the past without my asking, just to be nice. When I asked him, he sent this. You know I won't have the time to come over. Mom needs me to do her food shopping then pick up some clothes. She can barely walk. Can you please just make your food? I know it'll be tough, but please just get that I gotta be there for my mom. She's in a much worse state than you. This kinda broke me a bit. His lack of care for my injury, the sort of dismissive way he spoke to me, the hyper-focusing on his mother still. It broke the dam. I told him over text. For F***'s sake, could you just for once this year be there for me? I asked this one thing, and you can't do it? Your poor mother just refuses to get off her ass and be a grown-up. If you're treating me likely this now, I don't imagine it'll change if we get married. For once, can you just not talk about your sick mother and prioritize your future wife? Because at the rate you're going, I won't be your wife and you'll be alone. I felt it was harsh even as I was typing it, but everything I said felt true to me. Just anger building up for nearly 3 whole months of us barely even talking. I can see that he's seen it. It shows red. He hasn't responded. And it's been nearly 2 days. I had my sister come over and she's doing my food. She's also how I'm getting into work given I can't drive. I haven't told her much because I just feel embarrassed at being discarded by someone I love. I think I messed up bad. I think I was too harsh. I really don't know how to proceed. If Ryan will respond, he might even call off the engagement. I'm just feeling terrified I let my anger get the best of me, and I ruined the best relationship I ever had. How do I get past this? Do I talk to Ryan or wait for him to speak? I haven't been in anything like this before. I'm scared if I reach out he'll snap back and block me or something. Please help me. Edit. I see recurring questions, very much my fault. I felt the post was bloated so I skimmed a few details. My bad, I will admit, sorry. I have many times offered to help, either to take over his duties for a day or just offering him a night away for some personal time. I once considered asking his friends, but that felt too invasive, so I scrapped the idea. Emile is late 50s, 58 of 59. She was perfectly healthy before this. She's fine weight-wise, decent blood pressure, etc. That's a contributing factor with my skepticism in relation to her health that she's exaggerating it. And I do fully admit I was mean with my text. I felt bad back then and just feel worse now. But I can't take it back. I just want to know how to proceed, that's all. Even if we split, I'd still want to give a heartfelt apology. I still care for him at the end of the day. He's given me some of the best years.